He wasn't a deer. He wasn't a mattress. He was my son.
The parents of 36-year-old Therese Garner are heartbroken. They're trying to wrap their minds around how their son lay dead for hours on the interstate in Hoover before police got to him.
It's too graphic to even think about. The longer they waited, the worse of the situation got.
Hoover police say it's likely Garner had been on I-459 near the Larner Road Bridge as early as 2:30 Tuesday morning. He was found dead 1 that afternoon.
We was hearing that they got calls in the wee hours of the morning, but yet they didn't get there until, in the afternoon, and we feel like if they had came out when they first got calls, what happened to him wouldn't have been as devastating.
Wow, that's a very, very tragic case, man. This brother just laying out there on the road for hours. People called. You notice no one pulled over to help. And you know what? Pulling over on the highway to help is pretty dangerous because, you're very vulnerable just from those cars buzzing. Yeah, no one helped. But, it's very dangerous helping, though. Getting out of your car on the highway, on the side of the highway. People get killed like that all the time. But this brother laid there. He looks like a decent brother, man. Doesn't look like a Pookie, doesn't dress like a Pookie for all we know. I know that the parents are in pain. They're married. Raised some kids. It's just sad, man. They should be more angry at the public for not helping than the police, though. Because when people call the police show up. So maybe the people didn't give the police the right location. Maybe the police didn't see him. But if you got a body line on the side of the highway, like, I noticed roadkill. Like, you just see it. It's right there. Even if it's on the side of the road, on the highway. Just notice it. Tires, anything. Abandoned cars. A body for almost 12 hours. And they're upset with the police. I think they're just hurt, man. Because you can't really blame this one on the police.
Hoover police say it's likely Garner had been on I-459 near the Larner Road Bridge as early as 2:30 Tuesday morning. He was found dead 1 that afternoon.
We was hearing that they got calls in the wee hours of the morning, but yet they didn't get there until, in the afternoon, and we feel like if they had came out when they first got calls, what happened to him wouldn't have been as devastating.
Today, we followed up with Captain Keith Sescliba with Hoover Police. He says they were notified and made the discovery at 1 p.m. He also says 2 officers responded to the scene at the same time someone called 911. What's hard about this, his death?
Just, the mere fact that he's not here no more. Just unbelievable.
The way it happened. Yeah. It's hard if it was a stranger just to hear the way that it happened.
Police are still looking into how Garner ended up on the interstate. Officials say they don't suspect foul play. Garner's sister says her brother lived in Tarrant, but worked at a Waffle House and neighborhood Walmart store in Hoover. Meanwhile, Garner's parents want people to remember their son as loving, smart, and creative.
He could draw. He drew stuff for the church. He had pictures at his own house that he drew, murals at his, his house that he has done.
Okay, a working man and a, struggling artist. Most artists are struggling. I'm glad they're not suing the police department. That's all I can say about that. Because this is a community issue. Anytime you got a guy laying on the road for 12 hours and, God, thousands and thousands of cars pass by. And you see that. Like, there's something on the side of the road catches your eye. It could be a cup. you know, hubcap, anything. It's going to catch your eye. That's a community issue. That's not the police. And police travel up and down the highway. A police officer would have seen that. So I just don't understand how he could have been there that long. It's just a strange story. R.I.P. to the brother, though.
He had pictures at his own house that he drew, murals at his, his house that he has done.
Mr. Garner is a graduate of Tarrant High School. His parents plan to meet with Hoover Police tomorrow to ask additional questions surrounding their son's death. I'm Fred Davenport.
Mother pleading for justice for her teenage son. He was shot and killed late last year.
A 15-year-old was originally charged in September in connection to the death of 16-year-old Siobhan Scruggs.
Fox News reporter Stephen Moody has followed this story from the very beginning. He now joins us here in studio with the latest. Stephen?
Yeah, Shelby Byron, the last time I spoke to Nigel Hill was during Siobhan's vigil back in September. Now she's hoping that her son's name isn't forgotten.
It's very heartbreaking that a child that's 15 years old can walk up to someone and murder them.
Very common, Mom. Very, very common in this community. Happens in every city every day. Person doesn't always die, but I would say that in every single city, every single day, a 15-year-old shoots at somebody. In the stand, every single day.
Nigel Hill says life has been tough since her son Siobhan Scruggs was killed just 5 months ago near his high school. Days after his death, a 15-year-old suspect was arrested and charged. Hill says this all started after a good deed by her son.
At the time when my son was murdered, he had let someone borrow his shoes that wasn't as fortunate as he was. And he was going to get his shoes back because he started a new school.
That's when Scruggs was shot and killed.
I used to say this all the time. Those of you guys who are new probably wouldn't know that the new subbies, new subscribers, I used to say this almost in every video. In the stand, no act of kindness goes unpunished. Okay? This young man, he looked like he with it. He looked like a regular homeboy. You could see you can just see the way he dresses, the way he looks in the pictures. He looks like a homeboy. You know, he's in that mix. However, if he gave another kid some shoes, another less fortunate kid some shoes, he should have just given them to him. That's something that I learned living in the stand. It's easier to give people stuff because let's just say you loan somebody in the stand $5, right? Now, 9 times out of 10, that person is going to stop talking to you because they don't want to pay you the $5 back. So that person is just going to avoid you and, stop speaking to you. However, if you were to press that issue, you could get into something deeper and die over $5. When you can just, if that person needs $5, you can just give it to them. And then they don't have that weight on them of, I owe this guy back. I owe this guy or owe this guy. Because that is something that really, really is troubling with some people. It's the darndest thing. I haven't seen it with any other group. The debt is seen completely different. It's not seen on, it's almost like it's not seen the same way as other groups see it as. It's just strange, man, the way we view a debt or owing somebody something. So he went to get the shoes back. And now the kid who has the shoes, he's got buddies, he's got a crew, he's got clique, he's got brothers, like, man, and he feels good having those shoes on. Those shoes have made him, in the stand, your shoes is everything. Your tennis shoes is 70% of what attracts women to you or girls to you. And it's, like, I would say about 30 to 40% of your respect on the street. So very valuable having a good pair of tennis shoes in the stand. Immensely valuable. That kid didn't want to give them back. I can understand that. You gave them to me. I've been wearing them. Your mother buys you all the clothes you want. You could tell this kid was fresh. And he may have just been like, yo, I got to get my stuff back because I said I was going to get it back. I let you use them, now I'm getting them back. Maybe they fell out. Anything could happen. Maybe one of his boys was like, so-and-so still got your shoes, you ain't get them Jones back yet? What, you scared? Little stuff like that, man. No, I ain't scared, I'll go get them back. Watch. I mean, little stuff like that. It'd be so stupid, so petty. It's so minuscule, but it means so much in that world because let's just take the last analogy, the last example. Your boy says, you ain't gonna get your shoes back, you scared of them? Now, if you don't get those shoes back, you lose rank. Other dudes will start playing. That's how crazy it is. Like, in the stand, especially in his age group, in his world of his, peers and whatnot, if you show a weakness, people who previously never even thought about you or never even were thinking about harming you or stealing from you or doing bad things to you, if they see that someone else has done you wrong and gotten away with it, now people who had previously never even thought of doing those things to you will now rush to do those things to you, okay? You become a target. You become a mark. People who you previously thought were cool or good people or that's my man or man, that's a dynamite guy. Now they're ravenous serpents circling you because they've seen that you allowed someone else to take something from you. It's a very, 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 it's a cauldron. Very, very dangerous, very, very competitive, very, very dog-eat-dog world for these young men in the stand. That's why so many of them die so often. It's just a very, very toxic world. So I could see him, wanting to be like, yo, I got to get these shoes back, man. People know I gave them to you. People know I let you borrow them. You still got them. I have to get them back. So I can be like, so people will know, like, I got my shoes back. The kid may have been like, hold up, and then when you get them back, it could be like, oh, so hold on, what you trying to say? Like, the way you say it, like, he could go up to the kid and be like, hey, man, I need my shoes. Why you say it like that? I mean, like, anything. It's such a toxic environment. Very, very, very dangerous environment. No act of kindness goes unpunished. You'd be better off just giving the kid the shoes or telling the kid no.
Hill says this all started after a good deed by her son.
At the time when my son was murdered, he had let someone borrow his shoes that wasn't as fortunate as he was. And he was going to get his shoes back because he started a new school.
That's when Scruggs was shot and killed. A vigil was held at that exact spot near Allison Street. Hill says she stayed strong with the help of these hoodies with Siobhan's name on them that she designs herself. 5 months later, and the family still holding those memories close as this investigation continues.
We don't look to bury our children. We expect our children to bury us. So you really tear apart. You can just totally interrupt a person's life by taking someone's life. But you didn't just take a life. You took someone that was a good person, a funny person, a child.
Okay, so at least we know he was funny. But here's the thing. The mom seems very sure that the 15-year-old that was originally arrested and let go actually is the one who killed this guy, killed her son. And you may ask why. Well, the 15-year-old who killed this teen, there were a lot of people there probably when he did it. And he's probably been talking about it a lot on social media. So him being a killer is a social currency. So keeping that a secret or not letting people know about that or making it ambiguous whether you may have done it or not serves you no purpose. People need to know that you're a killer and you'll kill. Not only because of all of that, but also because, like, there's a lot of guys out there who kill too, who shoot too, who are very dangerous, and you need them to know that you're dangerous too. And if, push comes to shove, you'll kill too. So I'm sure that 15-year-old has been talking a lot about how he killed that kid. How he killed her son. And words gotten back to her. Her son's little buddies probably or little girlfriends have probably been saying, yeah, he did it. Everybody in school know he did it, but, they probably don't have proof. The cops don't have proof. They can't put it together. They can't get a witness to, and all that stuff. Probably don't have the gun, different things like that. But that's why the mom is probably so adamant that it was the 15-year-old who did it, who was originally arrested for this. Just another day in the state. All this stuff is 24/7, just very, very dangerous area.
Now, Chavan Scruggs would have turned 17 years old next month. Meanwhile, the identity of the suspect still hasn't been released. Live in studio, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.